Hello again. Back for the second episode of the evening. We'll wait for some people to join here. Today is Thursday, December the 19th. And we are, welcome in. Again, second episode of the night here for Bricks and Beyond. As a reminder, each episode of the Bricks and Beyond series highlights a member of our LEGO community. This provides a personalized experience to learn more about the person behind the account. So, second guest of the night comes from the New England area of the United States and is definitely powered by tacos. Always got to make sure I'm hitting the right buttons here. Hello.
Hello,
How
hello,
are you?
hello. Doing good. Dude, you have been busy today.
I have been busy all week this week.
Yeah. Heck.
Obviously I don't always like to share the spotlight, but I know you are busy, and I mean busy. So I wanted to take the opportunity. You gave me the date, I took it. So because I don't want to pass it up. There's too many people that deserve to be shared, and you're definitely one of them.
Yeah.
So thank you for stopping by. I do appreciate it.
No, thanks
How?
for having me.
Yeah. So how's your week going so far?
It's Thursday.
Yes.
I blinked and it's Thursday.
Yeah.
That is how it is. I do not have enough hours in the day.
Nope.
I need not a clone, I need an army of tacos.
It sounds
Yes.
like you need a Star Wars battle pack to build an army of yourself.
It's bad. I need someone to drive me around and someone to remind me to eat
Yep.
and to call my mom back. And it's bad. It's bad. And what's worse is that I have a really bad attention span. If I had not just looked at my phone right now, I was like, oh crap, I missed
Well,
the
yeah,
live
yeah.
stream. It's
It's
so bad.
it's funny. No matter how many calendars you have, no matter how many reminders you set, there's just it never works. There's not, as you said, there's not enough hours in the day.
I don't know.
Truly is not.
I don't know.
Especially, I think with the holidays this year, I feel like Thanksgiving was late, I guess you can
Yeah.
say. And then it feels like we just kind of like smushed Christmas in, what, 4 weeks after, basically. So, yeah,
I'm over it. I'm
yeah,
over it.
yeah, I know. I hear you. So, before we get into everything, for those who might not know you well, let's get into the name tacos. Give me some backstory. But before you do that, I got a surprise for you today because I was feeling really into it today. And I don't know if you saw the last one in full capacity, but this is for you.
Oh. You see that famous video where a guy's gonna take his mom out to lunch
Yes.
and she's putting on the
Yes.
hat and she's like Taco Tuesday, and then the child the grown up spawn is like really it's like Taco Tuesday.
I was thinking today, I was just feeling like really festive today. And I was like, how can I really amp up these lives? And so I don't know if you saw I had the crown
Yeah.
for the last one. And then I found this at Party City. I was like, this is
Oh
perfect. So
my God.
yeah,
Oh my
it's got the lettuce, the cheese, all that. So
delicious. Now I'm hungry. Now I'm hungry. Thanks to you.
I know I had to do it. So what's the story behind it? There has to be something with it, right?
Uh when I was pregnant with my daughter, I was hungry for tacos. I craved. Most women, people going through pregnancy, you crave something, and it's usually because you're lacking some kind of
Yep.
nutrient. I wanted tacos, and I couldn't have it because, I was trying to stay somewhat healthy, and
Sure.
I sadly, even though I wanted tacos, I ended up eating lots of blueberries.
Really?
So, yeah,
Interesting. Okay.
yeah,
Now, do you still eat blueberries, or is that off the?
a cup a
Okay.
day. Yeah,
Okay.
a couple
Yeah.
days. So yeah.
So,
So that's basically yeah. And so my sister, she had done taco themed baby shower when I got back into fitness, and I was like, all right, I came back to a dance studio, and at the dance studio there was like 17 Christine variations.
okay.
Christina, Crystal, Krista, Chris. And I was just like, call me tacos. It's easy to remember. So now when I go to Zumba convention, there's only one Zumba with tacos, and I created Powered by Tacos.
Yep.
And so it's become the easy name to remember.
Sure.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
mhm.
So, did you like tacos prior to the pregnancy cravings?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. All
Oh,
right.
oh yeah.
So, it's
It's
not
just,
just something that came out of the
oh,
blue.
no, no,
Okay.
no. Although I did start eating bacon during pregnancy, but not since
Interesting.
then. I
Okay.
mean, like I'll have it every once in a while, but it's
Yeah.
not like the idea of bacon. I don't
Yeah.
really care for it. Sorry, sorry. I know I probably like lost everyone. So,
Ah, hey, that's okay. Everybody's allowed to like what they want, right?
but the bacon culture is strong.
It
That's like
is. Yeah.
that's
Yep.
like not liking beer, which I don't drink beer. So,
Yeah, hey, you have a partner there. I'm not a beer. I'm other things, but
yeah.
yeah, they actually have, there's a couple restaurants near me that actually have bacon nights. And so it's like everything bacon, or you can just get bacon. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a culture one in its own. So,
It really is. It really is. I didn't grow up eating it, In Dominican Republic, it's not popularized to
okay,
eat bacon.
sure.
So, yeah, we do eat pork, we do eat pig, but not, bacon is not like part of the culture.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's where you grew up in the Dominican?
Dominican, this my family's Dominican,
Okay.
yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I did see that. I wasn't sure if that's where. So how long did you live there for?
Oh, I technically no, no, my parents were
Oh,
born
they're
there.
from there.
Me,
Okay. So you
I'm
were
I'm
over.
I'm American born. Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Do you get to go over there at all?
Oh yeah, yeah. Actually, the last time I went was right before the pandemic.
Oh. Oh gosh.
So
Yeah.
I'm due for a trip. I'm due
Yeah.
for a trip. Yeah.
Yeah. How far of a I guess how far of a flight
It's
would that?
not so bad. It's like about 3 hours, 2.5
Oh.
hours.
Oh gosh. Okay.
It's not
Yeah.
bad.
Well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then you're not halfway across the world then.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So I know you said you do have, and I'm playing off the name here because you said you do have a daughter, and she's referred to as Mini Tacos.
Many
Um,
talks.
so has she taken on and embraced that name, or is she kind of like, why am I a mini taco?
So she's my apprentice when it comes to work. So that's
Okay,
where she usually refers to herself as Mini Taco. She's
gotcha.
like, I'm Mini Taco. She sounds like an AA meeting because she
Yeah.
says it's so like not very animated. It's like, all right, sure, But it's yeah, it's just so everywhere I go when it comes to Lego and STEM, I usually wear my taco brooch.
Oh,
I'm not wearing it now
okay.
'cause
Yep.
but she has her own taco
Okay.
brooch. It's the one that I wear on the show. It's my brand. Like I've
Yeah.
had the brand before when I founded
Yeah.
Powered by Tacos.
Yep.
So
Which we
yeah,
will we will get to that. I
yeah,
got I got some stuff I want to know about that. So she's embraced it then. She's playing off
yeah,
of you and everything. Okay.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah, yeah.
Good.
Well, she
Good.
likes the idea of getting paid. That's what it is.
I
So
mean, I can't blame her.
one day she'll get paid. For now, she gets paid in ice cream.
Well,
So
that I'd actually probably take ice cream over money. I'm more of a food guy than I'm. If food didn't cost money, I would take food over money. So
oh my gosh, I'm kind of like a stray dog at that point.
yeah,
So I'm the same way.
yeah. So back with the Instagram name. So
Hmm.
obviously Lego with the
Hmm.
S, which is okay. No one's going to give you a hard time for that. Burritos. I see the burritos added on at the end.
Yeah.
Was that just something because it flowed with the
Oh,
O's, or
okay. So it's just there's South Park. There's
yeah?
an episode in South Park where one of the characters he draws Jennifer Lopez on his hands. All
Okay.
right, and this is where people I'm about to get canceled. All right, so Jennifer Lopez is Puerto Rican, but American culture, it's South Park is all satire, so they're making, they're pretending it's a messed up cartoon. I don't watch
Yeah,
South Park,
yeah,
but
yep.
that is part of the cartoon that like I will always remember. And the person that drew Jennifer Lopez puts on her hand would say, tacos, tacos, burritos,
Uh,
burritos. So this is, I
it's
haven't said this story in years,
oh,
but,
that's funny.
and so that's what I always think of, like tacos,
Yep,
burritos,
that's funny. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, all right. So yeah, I was really curious because it fits the theme, obviously, but I was just wondering if it came from something.
There you go. It
Well,
came from
good,
South Park.
good. Okay, well, I don't
Eric
remember.
Cartman.
I never watched that. I mean, I watched it, but
It's,
never
it's,
consistently, and I
it's,
can't remember if
it,
I.
it's
Yeah,
bad.
I
It's,
I
it's
know.
so bad. Like I see it on TV. I'm like, nope, nope, I
Yeah,
can't. It's too.
I'm usually like a very open person to stuff, and
Yeah.
I have even been offended a few times watching it. So I know exactly what you're talking about. So
It's like,
um
holy.
so Christmas obviously next week. Are you ready?
Nope. I have to go Christmas shopping.
Oh,
Hey yo,
okay.
what's up?
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, you got plenty of time. You
I
do.
told you I need a clone. My clone needs a clone.
Yes. Yeah. I tell myself every year that we're going to get done beginning of December. Everything will be purchased, everything will be wrapped, and that's that. You know, the last weekend, relax. Every week or every year, we're out at the busiest mall in the afternoon where there's nowhere to park, and it's just a disaster. And I just can't seem to get over that hump. You know,
Yeah.
it's just it's always the same stuff. Even with the online ability to buy
Yeah.
online, I still feel like you always need to go out for something.
Ah, today I went to the bookstore, and while I'm at the bookstore, I'm like, oh, I can pick that up. Oh wait, I can pick that up, and because they have the impulse
Oh
aisle,
yeah.
and me with my short attention span, I they need to have shopping carts because at this point my arms were like full of stuff. I'm like, okay, this is unnecessary, and this
Yep.
is toxic. This
Yep.
is toxic.
Yeah. You know, that's a good point. I never thought about that. Did you ever wonder why some stores don't have shopping carts?
Oh, maybe I'm thinking egress, thinking about laying out. They bookstores actually should
I
have shopping
agree.
carts.
Yeah, I agree.
You don't buy just one
Do
book.
they have
You always.
baskets?
It was Barnes and Nobles, so I'm guessing that there's probably a basket somewhere, but I have never seen a
I don't
basket
think I
there.
have either. Well, and think about this. You need a cart to put all your Lego sets in it because, a hidden Lego
Exactly.
shop. So,
Right, exactly. Exactly. They do actually have quite a Lego selection. So I was
yes.
actually there on business because I wanted to talk to someone. We were coordinating for an event,
Okay.
but yeah, no, there's just too much at Barnes and Nobles. There's
Yeah.
too much at the
Yep.
bookstores. So
Yep.
it's now more about hobbies and
Yeah,
books.
I was just gonna say Barnes and Nobles has really evolved into more like a hobby shop almost. I mean, because you literally have what toys, Legos, games, books, trinkets.
That
That's
bags, they have a coffee
yeah,
shop. They got like
that's
they're
true.
trying to make it a one-stop shop.
Yep,
So
yep. Now, are you a coffee drinker?
I am. I am. I'm trying not to be because I can't just have coffee. I have to add everything to it. So everything in the kitchen sink, so is
uh,
bad.
well, first, do you like Starbucks?
Um, I actually just make my own coffee because once
Okay,
again,
yeah,
Starbucks is toxic.
yeah.
It's
Well,
like
yeah,
here,
I
okay.
No, so a few years back, I took my dad to Starbucks, and I'm not a Starbucks drinker, but he wanted some, and that was the only place close by. And I always said the first time I had Starbucks, I felt like my teeth sizzled off just because it's a really strong, a really strong coffee. So I take my dad in, and my dad he likes his coffee like very light.
Yeah.
So we took it in, and he gets the coffee, and I said, "You better ask them room for cream." So he asked for room for cream. So he gets the coffee. He starts pouring them in. He goes, "My coffee's not getting any lighter." He said, "I think the coffee's eating the cream." So it's just different people have different likes for coffee, and I'm with you. I'm more of the home style because I like doing it my way, and
Uh,
not adding, asking them to do all this stuff, and then they look at you like, I mean, they hear it all the time now. It's common to ask for a lot, so
yeah. Yeah. No, I'm also cheap, so that's what it is. So
it's
spread that around. No,
expensive.
it's
It is
ridiculous.
really expensive. Starbucks coffee is almost like the price of a meal somewhere.
Yeah.
So I get it.
It's those that have the luxury of getting coffee every day, good for you.
Yeah,
But me,
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yep.
And
I'm
but the
with
thing
you.
is, I don't need that much coffee, but I also drink a lot of espresso.
Mm,
You know, I grew up
okay.
like having cafecito. You know,
Sure.
that's just something that we grew up with. Um, so I don't need to have a giant coffee. If I do have a giant coffee, that's where the cream comes in.
Yeah.
If I
Yeah.
have an espresso,
Yep.
I just have a little bit of sugar and be done with it. But if I'm gonna have a big coffee, I'm gonna have every kind of cream and every pump. And no, no, at this point, it's just ice
Yeah.
cream.
I some of those things you hear, I'm like, I don't think we're drinking coffee anymore. We're just
Exactly.
so for Christmas, anything on yours or your daughter's list Lego wise? Any sets or anything you're interested in, or not this year?
Well, I just got my so I don't buy Lego. So
Okay.
I buy Lego always for my STEM, for my
Oh yeah.
students and
Yep.
for my
Okay.
STEM kit. So for me, I just got a white whale as a gift by one of my patrons, which was
Ooh.
super really cool, and that is the Pac-Man set.
Oh,
So
nice.
that is what I'm focused on. I can't build anything else. Well, I mean, I've been building the brick craft Grinch
Okay.
stuff so I can decorate the house
Sure.
with. Um, but that is what I have my eye on right now.
Okay.
And I'm like hyper focused on that because I had seen the GWPs that came out recently
Mhm.
and I wanted them so much that book, the I love books.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yep. Yep.
I forgot what it's called. And then,
Yeah. Books of
yeah,
Books of
all,
Passion or
all
something.
the GWPs after October, like I want them all. I want them. I want most of them. I gotta say, and at this point, do I really want to spend $150 on a 150 piece set?
No.
So I have to think practical. I always think, all right, if I get this, I get the perk of having a GWP. But right now, I'm all set with
Yeah.
Lego STEM, so I have to prioritize where my spending
I get
is.
it.
Um, but that being said, I want everything. Yes, please. Thank you. Okay.
Well, so if you ever join one of my lives on Mondays or Fridays with Mavericks, we have this thing where whenever somebody's on and they mention something in the comments, we always have this joke where it's actually not a joke, but we have a spreadsheet and we put people's names and they're like, "I want this." We toss you on the list, and we have big ideas and plans for trying to do things for others. So stop
Okay
by
then.
on Monday and Friday and be like, "Hey, I'm looking for this," and we'll toss you on the list. So
All right. All right. Okay then. I
actually,
love
I'll
me
just
some
add
free
you
will.
anyways
The
for October through December GWPs.
the things we will do for free Lego. The things we will do. Back in
Yeah.
college, I can't tell you how many uh applications I put out there for like Citibank and all that
Yep.
stuff for a free shirt. For a free shirt. For a sadly, measly like $8 value shirt that said the name of the bank.
Yeah.
Like who
Yep.
cares about Citibank? But I wanted that free
Apparently,
shirt.
you had some
I
interest.
traded my soul,
Jeez. Yep.
my credit score. My credit score wasn't very good looking to begin with.
Uh,
Then
uh,
it just dropped.
well, hey, when you like something, you run with it, and you see where it takes you, right?
Priorities all messed up.
All right. So let's get to know you backwards. So, well, not backwards. Stay forwards, but you little. So, growing up, did you have any bulk Lego sets, or was it not something you were in when you were little?
It was not around.
Okay.
It Lego was around outside of the Hispanic culture. I started to
Yep.
say it.
Yep. Okay.
So growing up Hispanic, we're pushed into domesticated roles. So
Okay.
all I was ever given was a baby doll,
Okay.
um, food for the baby doll,
Sure. Yep.
and fabric to
Oh, okay.
clothe
Yeah.
to clothe
Okay.
the baby doll.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
So I grew up that way. My brother, he got the Nintendo and stuff like that, and
Okay.
that was awesome. I was able to play with him. But Hispanic culture, what's most affordable is sports. So
Mm,
here's a ball. You can play with
okay.
it. Um, except it's always given to
Sure.
the boys. The girls are learned, are given domesticated stuff so they could raise the family.
Okay.
So I had never seen Lego until I was in high school and I was a peer educator and I went to like a program and I saw Lego in a distance.
Okay.
That is it. But in all of my family that I ever visited, and I got a big family. You
Sure.
know
Yeah.
my big fat Greek wedding? That is
Yes.
my big fat Dominican family.
Nice.
Um, I never saw Lego. It wasn't
Interesting. Okay.
until like I just never saw
Yeah.
Lego growing up. That was just a figment of my imagination. It wasn't until I worked at KB Toys and I was a roller girl
Wow.
that
Throwback.
that was my first. Yeah, I'm aging myself here.
No, no, no,
Um,
no. I went to KB Toys, so I know. I haven't heard that name in a long time.
I was a roller girl. I was a guest toy demonstrator
Nice.
at
Okay.
KB Toys,
Okay.
and I would direct people either to the pink aisle, which was
Yeah.
Barbie and
Yep.
dolls, or the craft aisle as we were trying to get more not politically correct but just trying to understand that let's not try to genderize toys.
Yep.
But and then there was the Lego aisle, and that was a little not intimidating. I would look at the boxes and I would just straighten them out, like push them towards the
Sure.
end of the cap and just make sure that they're nice and straight. But I had no involvement. My only awareness was that there would be creepy old men that would line up outside. There would be creepy old men. I'm like, what is up with these guys that were obsessed with that, and then guys obsessed with like
Oh
McFarlane's? I
yeah.
had no
Yep.
idea. I
Yep.
had no idea.
Yep.
So yeah,
That that's actually why my I promise my dad's not creepy, but he would he would drag me to KB Toys for that. But you know what?
sorry,
He
Dad.
no offense taken. Trust me, I hated it because he would make enemies with the guys that were coming to compete to try to be first. So you know exactly what I'm talking about. But my dad, he would always buy like he'd go to Dunkin' Donuts or whatnot. He'd buy donuts for whoever worked there, and then they would actually keep the boxes in the back for him, and then they would let him have first pick of everything. And
It's like I need it.
so yeah,
You got my
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
You got my stuff.
I did. I did not
Not
have
sketchy
that
at all.
problem until I got into Lego. I'm like, I see what he did. He was trying to sweet talk people.
I mean, I once again, I am swayed by food
Okay.
like a stray dog. So I'd be all over that. See, I, no one ever approached me on that stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you
Dang.
know what? Something. Well, when we get into the STEM talk here, I might have a way. I might have a taco buffet I can persuade you with. I'll have all the toppings, anything you want. So.
Fabulous.
I will keep that in mind. Um, so obviously I within the last live I just had the same similar but not similar conversation. So technically you did not have a dark ages. You had an I didn't know ages. So that's what we're calling that for people who didn't have, do anything with Lego. So when you started with Lego, do you remember what your first set was that you built?
So technically, my first set wasn't a set. It was
Okay.
actually a bin full of Technic pieces.
Oh,
It was actually an
okay.
interview to become an engineering STEM
Oh,
instructor.
interesting. Okay.
And so they're like, "Can you build a car?" And I'm like, "Huh?" Like, you can't ask me to build a house with the bricks.
Yeah.
You're giving me axles and Technic pieces. That's not my first experience. I was like, what? This shouldn't be this shouldn't be my first experience.
Yep.
Granted, before I went to engineering school, I was a pre-K teacher. So once again,
Okay.
Lego was
Yep.
there at the table, but the kids didn't really mock.
Sure.
They would just kind of play with the minifigures and then just stack a couple bricks.
Yep.
So once again, not very big in my life.
Yeah.
So yeah, my first experience with Lego was literally here's a bin, build me a car.
Okay.
So it took me like 15 minutes to build a small little
Okay.
car, but I was able to do it. I figured out, where I needed friction and whatnot. So my first experience was STEM based.
Okay.
And then I did eventually have my first Lego set. I had that when I was pregnant. I actually posted a video about it. It was actually
Okay.
the Lego Birds collection
Oh yeah.
set.
Okay.
So that and oh, I never even mentioned it. It's also the fairground mixer. I just don't know how to
Ooh.
properly display it because
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
very wide and
Yep.
it's like complex. So I don't know how about to make a video on that. But yeah, those were my two sets.
So then you still have the Lego mixer then?
Yes.
Or yeah, what's it
Yeah.
called? Fairground mixer?
The fairground
Yeah,
mixer.
okay.
Yeah.
That's that is one of the ones on my list, but like you said, it's massive.
It's
So
it's
trying to find.
yeah. I don't care for sets that you have to collapse to put away. It's sad. So
Yeah,
right now it's collapsed, so you don't get to really feature it. You don't get to
can't enjoy it. Yeah.
experience it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Going back real quick to the Pac-Man. Now, do you have any interest in like the light side of stuff, like the light kits?
Okay, so first and foremost, I have spent about $200 worth on lights just because I built some wings and I was hoping to put them on, and the lights freaked me out because my wings are not fragile, they're very flexible, but I don't know how to weave them into the branch pieces because like
Okay.
we know this is flexible, so
Yep.
I don't feel so comfortable. So I bought lights for my wings, and I have yet to touch lights again. I was just given lights by Lego Lights,
Okay.
that company, and I'm supposed to light up my Viking village,
Oh, nice.
but just finding time is so hard.
Yeah.
I prefer to build over lighting. I wish I
Yeah.
had like my clone. They'd be like, "All right, I'll build a Lego. You light it up." So
Well, it looks like you have some volunteers there that are willing to instruct on the lights, but I get what you're saying. I mean, you know you kind of have to when you have a lot of other things going on. Obviously, you need the build first to be able to put the light kits, but
yes,
um, well, I guess unless you're integrating them with the build,
yeah.
if you can do them hand in hand. But
That's what I
again,
want to do. That's what I want to do with the Pac-Man.
yeah,
It's just so complex. I was like, okay, maybe I should do it at the same time versus uninstalling
yeah,
things
yeah,
because that
yeah.
I
That's
already chipped enough nails, you know. So,
well, you could have a clone that just peels pieces off for you. So,
exactly.
all right. So let's see here. Let's get into what I really want to talk about here. So your business, it is STEM powered by tacos, correct? That's the LLC company that you have.
Yep,
And so that started in, I looked at the website, 2020 and official in 2022, correct? Okay.
correct.
So, before we get into what you do there, can you just explain to everybody who might not know what STEM stands for?
STEM is science, technology, engineering,
Okay.
math. People are like, "Oh, why don't you use STEAM?" Because I'm using Lego, and Lego, you can use it in such a creative way. You know, you can mix the colors up, you can change the pieces up, and make it your own.
Yep.
So that's why the E is, I'm sorry, the A for art is already
Oh, yeah.
implied.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So then let's back up to 2019.
Mhm.
uh, at what, or I guess prior, when did you first have the vision to start your own business and we'll get into what you do, but to get into what you're doing?
So I'm a STEM teacher first. I'm an AFL second.
Okay.
I will teach STEM no matter the medium.
Okay.
Before the pandemic, I'm sorry, before Powered by Tacos, before Lego Masters, I'm sorry, before Lego Masters, I used to work at a museum and I was a STEM
Oh, that's
teacher
right.
there.
Okay.
I was
Yep.
using toilet paper tubes, popsicle sticks,
Sure.
straws, string, yarn, so that's what I used to teach about Da Vinci. And I just now have the luxury, I have the blessing of using Lego now.
Yep.
So
Yep.
and it's accessible and I have an abundance of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, so thinking about talking about because I've been having this conversation recently about the lack of imagination that there is now, especially in the Lego sets. Like there's not a lot of creator style sets or like classic boxes or whatnot that
Yeah.
like kind of let the kids create. So being in the position that you were at the museum, and let's just take Lego out of it for a minute. Going back to that time when you were at the museum, do you notice a difference in kids now compared to the kids that you had back then as far as their creativity or imagination?
Actually, a lot of them overlap. So
Okay.
these are kids from my museum
Oh,
who are
okay.
now like my Lego
Okay.
students. So I'm very
Yeah.
blessed. With Lego, it's different because I use battery packs and
Yeah.
motors. I didn't use that when I was working for the
Okay.
museum. I mean, I did do like an animation
Oh,
course,
nice.
but I could still do cranking, you know, with gears. Um, so it's different. It's different. There I had a curriculum by the
Okay.
museum. Here, obviously, I have the freedom because it's my own curriculum.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So then, can you just kind of give us just kind of like an overview of what you do day to day and where you do it?
All right. So, yeah. Uh, a day in the life of a taco is that I grab my 10,000 piece set, I lug it, and I carry it on the dolly and bring it to multiple schools,
Okay.
homes, centers, and I teach short classes. It's not an
Yeah.
all day class, even though I do
Okay.
teach camps and stuff like that, um, which are longer
Sure.
classes. And these are workshops, and we build cool things. We build structures. We build machines. At the end, we break it down. We wrap up, and then we go home. And we tell the parents that they had a great time with
Yeah.
tacos because I'm the fun teacher. I'm the fun teacher, so you know.
I mean, if
Um,
anybody can't tell by your personality, I mean, then they're blind to personalities because you seem like you could light up a room pretty quickly. So,
when it comes to Lego, absolutely.
yeah, yeah. So, let's back up to that what you're lugging around here. So, a 10,000 piece set
Yeah,
or box, we'll call it.
yeah.
Where does one obtain something so massive?
Well, axles are very small. You
Oh,
know, they're
true.
very
Yeah, I'm thinking
skinny.
this. Yeah. Okay.
Bushings, you could hold 200 bushings in one hand. So
That's crazy.
I can say that I carry around 10,000 pieces. It's about 60
Oh,
pounds.
wow. Okay.
And, you know, depending on the pieces, yeah, I lug them all into individual containers. Think of like tackle
Okay.
boxes.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
and yeah, I put everything on a dolly and you could see me rolling up the street. So, yeah.
Um, So did is this like the pieces that you got, were they something that you've kind of just acquired over the years, or did you make like a big mass
So during the
purchase?
pandemic, when I had shared on social media, not IG, I wasn't really on IG during the pandemic. It was like towards the end of
Okay.
2020. Um, I had shared on Facebook to all my friends and my Zumba community because I teach Zumba, and I was like, oh, you know, I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna create Powered by Tacos,
Okay.
which is I'm going to continue teaching STEM with or without
Sure.
Lego or whatever. And someone had made an offer and they donated all of their kids
Oh,
Lego,
nice.
and this kid was going off to
Okay.
college. So I inherited about $4,000 worth of Lego, but it was all put together. I had to take
Oh.
everything apart and I had to wash everything. And
Oh,
people are
okay.
not going to like me, but it was mostly Star Wars. It was mostly Star Wars. Millennium Falcon, actually Monster Fighter,
Oh, okay.
some Marvel. People are not gonna like me, but I had to do what I had to
Yeah.
do. I had to create an actual teachable kit, and that is what propelled my business,
Okay.
honestly.
Well,
So
that's I mean, to
it
have a
took
business, that's huge.
it took
Um,
it took 3 months to take everything apart, wash it, put it into an
yep.
actual kit.
So in that lot, how many Nerf missiles and how many cans of Play-Doh were in there?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It was actually a fairly decent it was pretty clean, but I still had to
Yeah.
wipe. So you know, Lego can create grime.
Yeah.
Is that the word? Grime?
Yep. Yep.
So quickly, so
Yep.
easily. So, you know, it was a pretty decent kit. So I will forever be grateful for
I
that.
yep.
I actually made a post on that. I'm like holding a huge bin and it's so expensive. I felt horrible, but at the same time, if the kid's not going to use it, I'll
Yeah.
take it off your
Yep.
hands. And
Um,
I still bulk buy to this day.
sure. Yeah.
So,
I think there are a lot of people out there that when they get to see their stuff being used secondhand in a good fashion, I don't think they mind donating.
yeah.
Um, I know a lot, you know, when you really think about like how much money you put in this stuff, and then it's like just take it. It's hard to swallow, but I would rather see people putting it to good use, especially for kids.
Yeah.
Um, but So you did all that sorting yourself, or did you have
Yep.
any help?
Yep.
Oh, you did.
Yep. I didn't want mini taco touching it.
Yeah,
I
I
had a
guess that's.
system. I had a system, and by then she was still just taking sets apart. At that
Okay.
age, she was kind of like, "What is this?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Oh, oops, sorry,
Yeah.
mommy."
Oops. Yeah.
Like now she knows better.
Yeah. Oh man, I can't imagine. Like I had some, pretty decent donations for my the Lego club I run, but I can't imagine taking that. Mine didn't take that long to sort. Now, granted, I did. I went to my mom and dad with puppy dog eyes, and I said, "Hey, you want to help me sort some Lego?" And I had to teach them like, "This is a Lego piece. This is a Mega Block piece. This,
Oh
this
yeah.
is a Nerf gun
Oh.
missile. So,
Nothing more
but
disappointing when you see a Facebook Marketplace ad. Oh yeah, rare Lego, and then you just see a whole bunch of Mega Block stuff. It's like, get out of here.
yeah. I know it's like because it's a Lego club, like I was kind of doing my best to get that. And I know it doesn't matter at the end of the day, especially the kids, as long as it works. But um, what some people don't realize is some of the off brands do not actually flow well together,
Oh
and
yeah.
it can cause stuff to break.
Oh yeah.
So, and when your stuff is being used as frequently as it was, like you can't afford to have the stuff breaking like that. So,
Exactly.
um, so now do you, because this is always something I'm interested in, do you clean your brick like between every so often, or like what do you do with that?
So back during the pandemic, after I would teach
Hmm.
a class, I would have to wash it right away.
Oh
And then
gosh, okay.
I would wash everything, and then my house would be covered in towels on the floor with all the, because I had to dry it up
Yeah,
quickly, and I'm not gonna put it in the dryer.
yep,
So right now, I do it like every 2 months
okay.
now. So, but I have learned that I can use sanitizer, but I'm very, very picky. I tell the kids, no drinks. You're gonna have a drink. It has to have a cover, and it has to be by the windowsill.
Yeah,
I'm very picky about that.
yep.
So,
There's some good advice for you right there. We've had this conversation in some lives.
yeah.
Salad
Oh
spinners.
yeah. Yeah. Oh, oh yeah. It's so noisy
Yeah, it
though.
is.
It's like,
Yeah, but and for you, you have to be extra careful because if you put lettuce on the tacos, you want to make sure you wash that before you rinse the lettuce, or you don't leave.
that'd be painful. That'd be painful. I do not want it to on Lego.
Oh
Not
gosh,
intentionally.
yeah. I mean, yeah, that's I wouldn't recommend that. So,
Ah, that's painful. That's painful.
all right. So with the STEM stuff too. Now, I think I read you don't just do children age or children age. You work with adults too, correct?
I work with adults. I offer adult workshops, but I'm trying to target. That sounds bad, but I'm trying to uh, have more exposure with the senior community. So
Okay.
senior
Yeah.
community is oftentimes neglected. People
Yep.
kind of forget about them and realize this is still a thriving community. Just because someone has Alzheimer's doesn't mean that they're not functional.
Yep.
You know, it's just you just have to find a different way to approach them,
Sure.
honestly.
Yeah.
So, um, my grandmother, my parents did not have the luxury to play ever growing up because they were in survival mode. They
Yep.
came to this country to work and to provide a roof and a future. And I really want to just tap into that community that never really got to experience play. So
Yep.
I think it would be a great blessing. I think of it as the movie, maybe inappropriate, Cocoon. So having that
Haven't seen that.
youthfulness come back to them.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, super old movie.
Okay.
So yeah, yeah.
You don't want to know some of the movies I've been told to watch recently, so I'm guessing yours is a good one to watch and not.
It's Jeff Goldblum. It can't be that
Ah,
bad.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it sounds better than some of the other ones I've been told to watch on some of these, so I'll take your word for it. Now,
Aliens. That's all I got to tell you. Aliens. So
uh,
not bad.
we're,
Not that
we're,
bad.
we're
Yeah, yeah.
close.
Aliens and old people. That's it.
That sounds like a good combo.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
So as far as the like the classes and everything that you offer, so again, you're Eastern United States.
Yeah.
Do you travel? Do you
Oh yeah.
go like all over the
It's
states or other countries?
So individually, I do travel. What is it? I I've been doing a lot of traveling with through Geared Up with actually with the new winner
Okay.
of Lego Masters,
Okay.
Corey
Yeah.
Sands,
Yeah. Okay.
and so Geared Up, we collaborate. That way, we're able to bring a larger than life experience.
Sure.
So we kind of travel all over the U.S. I also teach for Brick Fan Expo,
Okay.
and there we do Geared Up as well, where we bring STEM to these awesome conventions.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, I just had an opportunity. I'm trying to remember. But yes, I travel.
Okay.
I just don't always bring my bricks. If I don't bring my bricks, I try and find like a local bricks and minifigs
Oh, sure.
to donate some of their
Okay.
bricks just temporarily. That way, I'm not, traveling with 40
Yeah.
pounds of Lego. So
Yeah. I
yeah,
gotcha.
yeah,
So, I might have to talk to you. Do you travel to Pennsylvania? Would you travel to
yeah,
Pennsylvania? Hmm. Okay, we'll chat because I do, like I said, I do Lego Club once a month,
mm,
and I wanted to try to figure out a way to get like the STEM stuff
yeah,
involved, but I don't have any of that stuff. I am just like the big bulk. I have about four large containers of bulk. So then they just build. I give them a theme and they build. But
yeah,
I was trying to think of a way to get that introduced. So you would have like all the functioning
yeah.
pieces to make that stuff come to life. Okay, we're gonna chat
Yeah.
then. So, uh, so you said, do you? I would say parties, but you said, do you do like one-on-one stuff with people too? Like if
I
they're interested in that?
I yes, there's right now I'm working with a child that's one on one. It's just a little boring and quiet.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
I thrive under the
yeah.
chaos, but it's not bad. It's you have to be more creative when the child is by themselves.
Sure.
So versus when, if
With
you have
everybody.
10 kids in a class, it makes it much
Yeah.
easier. So,
Now, is there? So I know you can cater stuff, but do you have any sort of like curriculum or guidelines that you go off of, or is everything just like your
oh
idea?
no, I have hundreds of projects.
Okay. Yeah.
Actually, someone had asked to see all of my projects, and I had to list everything down. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have more than I had expected. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, no, no. I legit have everything in a binder. I'm not
Okay.
someone who puts everything. Well, actually, I had to recently put that on the computer.
Yeah. Sure.
Me and technology, we don't work. We don't work very
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I'm more of a pen and paper type of person
yeah,
too. So I I
absolutely.
I get what you mean.
Yeah.
Um, what did I want to ask you? I just had a good question. Now I forgot what I was going to ask you. I'll think of it. All right. So then, the so do you go to any conventions? Like do you bring the STEM stuff to conventions, or anything like any shows or anything like that?
So my STEM kit, depending on the convention, there's some conventions that they want us to use power motors and power packs.
Okay.
I'll definitely bring that. There's some conventions that provide that for us. So for BrickFan Expo, we do bring our own motors and battery packs because I like to build kind of like a little bridge that moves
Oh,
around.
nice. Okay.
Um, but I'll also have a parts list for them. I'm like, hey, can you please provide this? And they'll provide that and leave
Oh,
that at
cool.
the convention
Okay.
and their
Yep.
company. So,
Okay. Now I remembered. So I know I threw this at you last minute, and I don't know why I didn't think of it. Do you have any of your creations with you by any
oh,
chance? I know I
um,
said that to you last minute, and I was like, I should have thought about that sooner.
so one of the things that
I was like, oh yeah, nice. Okay.
so little claw over here, we
Yep.
have some 90-degree meshing. Yeah. Here, this is just part of a tool to attack.
Okay. Yeah.
So this
Yes.
is more for like my Bash and Bots class, where we grab a claw, you attach it to the vehicle, and
Okay.
yeah. So
Oh.
it's
So you
I,
kind of do those. Well, okay. Well, let me ask you that because that's a good thing. So what are some of the different things that you offer? So let's talk about this bash and bots. I want to hear this.
Bash and Bots, where we every day it's Final Destination.
Nice.
You build
Okay.
something to destroy each other.
Nice.
I I offer Jedi and Jedi Master Padawan and Jedi
Okay.
Master Engineering, Minecraft. I was doing Ninjago and I'm not into Ninjago, sorry. Um,
You don't have to
uh,
apologize
I,
to me.
I do architecture, I do mythical engineering, just fundamentals, just for day to day. Um, right now, I'm teaching Bricktacular engineering, so
Okay.
because of the Bricktacular
Yep.
holiday special, so where I build things from the
Yep.
show onto. So, uh, like I told you, like it's over 100 projects.
That's
So
crazy. That sounds like a lot of what are some of the mythical things that you do?
building wings that actually go up and down,
Okay.
but like on a small. So
Yeah.
building a quadruped, they choose a quadruped and then they find how to fixate the wings onto it.
Okay.
So
Very
yeah,
cool.
so
Oh man, so you have lots of ideas.
I've been doing this for a
Yeah.
while.
Is it ever overwhelming?
um I get burnt out.
Hmm.
Um So I tried to scale back on conventions. Everyone's just like, "Oh, can you come to this? Can you come to this?" And honestly, I have to prioritize,
Sure. Yeah.
because not only, I have my own career at home, I also have my own family life. I also have more than one job. So,
Okay.
I always stay busy. I'm always driving. People are always trying to have a full-on conversation. It's like, I
Well,
gotta go. I gotta go.
as you said, it's easier to
That's
voice chat
exactly,
than
yeah.
yeah.
That's what you
Now
You
I
don't you don't want to
understand.
see me text because between the autocorrects and the that's not what I was supposed to say. It's just like let me just speak it to you.
Now I understand. Man, you weren't kidding. Maybe we need to get in touch with Elon for you and get some of those robots
I
that he
would
has.
love it. I would not one. I need an army. I told you. I want an army.
They all must wear these.
I'll pay extra for that.
Oh man, that's good. So the people that you work with, do you have I don't want to say a preference, but is there any age group that you tend to not get along with that you enjoy more or that you
I don't like high
do?
schoolers. High
Yeah,
schoolers
okay.
are mean. High school girls are mean. They look at me like I'm a big dork. It's just like, okay, I guess I am a big dork. They're like, why are you wearing
No,
those
not at
earrings?
all.
Why are you wearing this? Why are you wearing that? Why are you wearing a tutu, Miss Tacos? I was like, let me wear my tutu,
Yeah.
okay? Wear my
So
tutu if I'm a
so
woman.
so Mean Girls is a legit movie then.
Legit. They're so mean. I was never
I
cool. I was never cool.
Well, I find that hard to believe because I think you seem like a very amazing person. So I think that should have
I,
cracked.
I should show you some of my high school pictures. I mean, I was that girl who wore wings to my prom.
You, you were just expressing your personality.
I told you I worked at KB Toys. I was a
Yes.
person in a sumo suit handing out flyers. If not, I was wearing a bunny suit handing out flyers.
Yeah. Yeah.
While roller skating and hula hooping in the parking lot.
Well, but let's look at it this way. Where would you be now
Exactly.
if you were in a pair of shoes, a pair of pants, and a regular shirt?
Nope, no gracias. No
Yeah.
gracias.
Yeah.
Nope. No,
So
I like
that
getting paid to play.
yes.
That's my mentality.
Yes. Well, hey, Lego is a toy. We all have to remember that, and
Yep,
we all have to remember this is something I keep preaching is we got to play well because that's what Lego means,
that's right.
correct? That's
That is
seems to be a thing that people in the community world can sometimes tend to forget, and that's something we have to try to keep pushing.
yep, yep.
So obviously, this night was about you as a person. But we all know you're on a certain show, so I wanted to save that for last because to me that's not important, but it is interesting. So I'm just going to ask you a couple things about that, if that's okay.
Yep, yep.
So you were obviously on season 3,
Hmm.
and then you were just in the Celebrity Bricktacular Holiday Special.
Yep.
So what uh, what would you say was like the main difference in the atmosphere being in like the season episode compared to this Bricktacular
Oh
episodes?
my. gosh, it was so much more relaxed. I've done filming for a couple of things, and this so far was just the most relaxed experience. I mean, it was still, you still had a time crunch. You still had to entertain the host. You also had to entertain your your
Partner.
partner.
Yep.
With me, with Michen, my teammate, I could basically assign her
Yep.
something, and I didn't have to watch my tone. I mean, I'm still respectful to her, but with the celebrity, it's just like you have to be a little bit nicer. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't want to be too pushy, and you also don't want to overwhelm them because this is their new Lego experience. Michelle
Yeah.
at least knew her Lego, so it was easier to be like, all right, give me two 3x4s.
Yep.
Well, there's no 3x4,
Yeah.
but you know what I mean.
Look,
Actually, technically, actually,
breaking
yeah,
mid piece
yeah.
3x4.
But you know what I mean. So there's that. We basically catered to the celebrities. If they were done for the day, we were done for the day, kind of
Okay.
situation.
Yeah.
So
You could tell because that's something like I kept thinking as the camera would go around and I was looking, I said, I wonder how much like the celebrities were actually building. Because sometimes it seemed like the ideas might have been passing like together, but it was like the builder was the builder. And I was just curious like how much building they assisted with.
how can I put this? Y- you're with your kids. You're making cookies.
Yes.
You make the cookies.
Yes.
You're careful with the mittens. You don't let them
Yep.
handle the mittens.
Yep.
What do you let them put on?
Yeah. Gotcha.
The sprinkles. So, their input, obviously, it's their
Yep.
idea. You have to make their ideas come to life, and
Sure.
you want them to be proud of what they do. So you want to make sure that you really do
Yeah.
cater to them.
Yeah.
You really do want to cater to them.
Yeah.
So, because their name is on this as well.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
so
I know. I get it. I was just. It's like a whole. You being in both, now you've gotten this. You had the chance to see like working with somebody who is familiar on a day-to-day basis with it, and then somebody who's not. So,
yeah,
yeah, two completely different ends of the spectrum there. But
yeah.
I know something that I already asked, but I'm sure everybody wants to know the massive pick-a-brick wall. Let's hear it. How amazing is it?
It's inspirational if you have the real estate.
Yeah.
I live on Cape Cod, so if I were to move to the left, I would actually be stepping on my own mock. So I'm gonna not move to the
Yep. I
left.
gotcha.
It's amazing. It's great to have, you know, 100 pieces, not 100 pieces, like 1,000 pieces of navy blue two
Yep.
by fours. I would love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not an easy color for me to come by.
Yep.
So they have a really great selection of techniques. They don't always have the latest, snot pieces.
Okay.
Not everything is available. Nets were now introduced. Nets weren't there before.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So they're trying to to change it up a bit.
Yeah.
Things that would make it easier for us. That way we're not tearing our hair out
Yeah.
when
Right.
it comes to a challenge. It's like, what? I thought you would have this piece. It's such a popular piece. How do you not have it? So they're getting really good about
That's
that.
good.
So
Now, again, I don't ever want to put anybody in a bad spot. So if you don't think you can answer it, that's fine. But the actual process on the Lego Master. So do you know the topic ahead of time, or do you have like they tell you the topic, and then your building time includes planning?
so for the Bricktacular special, I had no idea what any of the
Okay.
topics were. For season 3, Jurassic Park episode, they never told us Jurassic Park. Actually, they did tell us that it was going to be Jurassic Park episode and that we needed to brush up on the actors and stuff like that.
Oh,
Because
interesting.
obviously,
Yeah.
because Chris Pratt shows up.
Yeah. Yeah.
It'd be
Yeah.
dumb for
Yeah.
you not to know who that guy is. Be like, oh, okay, hi,
Yeah.
I'm Tacos.
Who are you?
Exactly, exactly. So there was that. There was an episode. Well, actually, after my elimination, I saw something and I was just like, interesting. And then it turned out that, water was being
Okay.
a feature,
Yep.
towards the end of the
Yep.
season. So, I had just seen a whole bunch of water. All of a sudden, I'm like, this is interesting. So I saw the piping and everything. So
Oh,
that was the only heads up I knew.
I can't imagine the pressure that must have felt like, especially season three, like to just be like tossed out there and try to put something together.
Yeah, yeah, there's some panic
Yeah.
attacks. Some people may grow ulcers.
Yeah.
I think it's important to find a way to breathe. It's almost like a
Sure.
meditation. So for season two, you have Maria and Philip, and one thing that I heard about them, I didn't realize this until after my season, is that they would just take a walk.
Hmm. Okay.
And
Yep.
I thought that was so really good. You know what I
Yep.
mean?
Yep.
Getting out of that, I always tell my students, when they're feeling discouraged, step away from what they're doing.
Yep.
Just step away from your artwork.
Agreed.
Step away from that book, from that homework. Just step away. Clear your
Sure.
mind is very important. But when you're stubborn and you hear the 5 hours left,
Yeah.
you're just so stubborn. You know what I mean? So that really, the panic, the stubbornness, that drive, it just continues to propel.
I get it. Yeah, the hour announcements by Will definitely can
Yeah.
can toss you off there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I hate to wrap things up, but as I'm time constrained still, so I would love to have you back for round two down the road if you'd be interested.
Absolutely.
Maybe sometime over the summer or something like that. So I'll keep you posted on that, and then I'll reach out to you to talk about some of the STEM stuff. But anything else you would like to share about yourself? Toss out there, or did I cover all the bases?
My profile, my Instagram page is not all STEM. Well, my STEM powered by
Yeah.
tacos is
Yep.
mostly STEM. My legostacosburritos, I have never changed my name since 2016, I
Okay.
think. So my page is it's Lego, it's memes, it's silliness, it's my
Yep.
authentic. I'm not selling
Sure.
anything.
Yep.
So
Good.
I may not always be for kids. I'm not for kids because kids don't belong on Instagram. But
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
when people look at my page, they're like, "Oh, I thought she was a Lego account." No, I'm also a
Totally.
fitness instructor.
Yep.
So just what you see is what you get.
Yep.
So sometimes it might offend people, and take it how
Well,
it is.
that's why I wanted to focus on everything else about you first, because the Lego Masters is just a fun thing, but you as a person are much more than that, and that's what I wanted to highlight. So I appreciate you taking the time to stop by, and I will definitely look forward to having you again. If you don't mind, I'm just going to put a plug in for next week. I have another episode at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern on December 26th. So if everybody wants to stop by, I hope to see you stopping by sometimes if you have the time. I don't know if you'll get the emoji, so I'll send them out for you to anybody who needs them.
What?
There we go.
That's not fair. I don't freaking Apple. I'm an Android person. What the hell?
It happens. At least I
Rub it
sent them
in.
out for you. So,
Rub it in. See
all
how it
right. Well,
is.
hey, I really do truly appreciate your time, and you guys have a Merry Christmas, and I will talk to you soon. All
Merry
right. Thanks for
Christmas.
stopping by, everybody. We'll see you. All right. Good
Good night,
night.
guys.
Bye.
See ya.